Hi, my name is Max and I'm the CTO of Jitbit. Today I wanted to show you how to make a fresh install of Jitbit Helpdesk on the Windows Server. As you can see, this is the Windows Server 2022 data center. I believe any edition will do just fine, and I have not done anything to this machine. This is completely unchanged from the time it was installed. So the first step is to get the database up and running. So for that we need SQL Server. We will use the Express edition for this tutorial. It's absolutely fine to get you started, and for some companies it's fine forever, so you don't need to really worry about it. So 2019 is the latest one at the time of this recording, I believe. So go ahead and download it, and then launch the setup. On this screen, we're gonna pick basic and keep all the defaults in place, but we will have to change one thing later, and I will show you. And we are done. So first things first, you will need to write this down or remember that it should be the same for you as it is for me, localhost / SQL Express. But you might need this later, and it's just good to have that. So this one, localhost / SQL Express. This is your server address. Next, we will need to install SSMS, also known as SQL Server Management Studio. It's also good to have, but we will actually use it to change one setting from the default. So go ahead and install that. And we're done. Now let's go ahead and verify that our database server is actually working. Found the management studio you just installed and launch it. And here we have the server already selected, so just click connect. Looks like we're all good, and now let's go ahead and change that setting I told you about. Right click the main node, the server node, and click properties. And here we go to security, and you need to select this. By default it's Windows authentication mode. You need to select this one, also called mixed authentication mode, so SQL Server and Windows at the same time, and just click OK. Here it says we need to restart the server, so go ahead and right click it again and click restart. Yes, and just wait for it to restart now. And it looks like we're all done with this step, so we're moving on to step number 2. Now we need to install the web server. It's called IIS on Windows, as you probably know, so go ahead and launch the server manager. Now you need to click add roles and features. Next, we do not care about this stuff. Next. And here we get to server roles. Yeah. You need to check the web server, add features, and click next again until you get to the role services. So here we need a couple of things. First of all, if you are going to use Windows authentication, you need to check this. You can, if you don't know yet, you can just check it, doesn't matter. And then under application development, scroll all the way down, and we will need the WebSocket protocol. So that's 2 extra things you need to check, and then just click next. and install, and just wait for the installation to complete. Looks like we're all done, and now we're moving on to step number 3. In order to run Jitbit, we will need to install .NET. Just type .NET download, and it will bring you to this page. And here click all .NET downloads. One thing that is important currently, the current version of .NET is 6.0, but you can see that 7.0 is about to be released. We are probably not going to migrate at launch, so for at least for some time you will still need to install 6.0. However, this is a video and these things go outdated, so just please check the release notes and the README. You might install something, a different version of .NET. You might watch this 2 years later, I don't know. But the basic layout of this page has not changed, and you need a hosting bundle. This is very important. Without it, you cannot run it Jitbit on IIS, so please download and install the hosting bundle specifically. Your download should start, and it should be a quick install. Okay, so now you are all ready to install Jitbit. So step number 4, go to jitbit.com. and click on premise. I'm going to be using the trial version for this, so just click download and you should have it. And if you decide to go on-premise version, which is probably the reason you're watching this video in the first place, we advise you to install the trial first to see if everything is all right, because we try to make these things as easy as possible, but in the end you will still need to maintain your own server. So please install the trial first before the purchase to see if everything works as expected. So I'm just gonna go to the downloads folder and extract it. Alright, so you have a couple of options. You can click install here, but I expect that on newer versions of Windows Server it will complain, so let's try that first. And yeah, it says something about protection. This is not a virus, it just treats the bad scripts this way. So in this case, go inside the helpdesk folder and find setup. It's right here, just double click it. I will obviously pick option number 1 to install the new app. Keep the default path. It will copy the files, it will take like 10 seconds. And here you need to pick which authentication mode do you want to use. First is called Forms, and it's basically any form of login and password authentication and various single sign-on options. So it's gonna be SAML, Google, whatever. Most people nowadays speak forms-based authentication. And Windows Integrated is when you log in with your Windows accounts or your Active Directory accounts. So I'm going to pick option number 1 again. Do you want to create the database? Obviously, yes. And now it will scan for your SQL Server, but yeah, it couldn't find any, so that's why I told you to remember your server address. For us it was localhost / SQL Express, and just gonna press enter. So probably didn't see that. The database was created and finished installing to localhost/helpdesk. Now we just have to wait and see if it loads. It should. And here you go. The installation was a success. And in case you do not know, the default login and password is admin. Obviously, probably the first thing you need to do is to change that. But anyway, thanks for watching, and don't worry, installation is not that hard. As you could see, if you follow all the steps, you should get exactly the same result. Good luck.